What is good with it, YouTube fight fans all over the world? It's your boy, the realest of the real. Yes, sir, I said it. Real Talk Boxing. It is a privilege and honor and a major blessing to be back with you, beautiful people, this Sunday morning. This is the morning after Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. I want to give my thoughts and opinion on the whole event in a nutshell. First of all, the event was amazing. It had some spectacular fights on the undercard, and honestly, there was some fights that outshined the main event. I'm gonna be honest with you, man, and this is no shade and no hate towards Nate or Jake, but that fight could have ended with Amanda Serrano and Heather Hardy as the main event. Okay, I have fighter of the event, fighter of the night, and I have fight of the night, which was a close second place for two fights. First of all, let's talk about this. I want to talk about Shadasia Green, Sweet Terminator. You know, my first impressions of her when I saw her, the first person that ran across my mind was Ann Wolfe. As soon as I seen Shadasia, I was like, bro, she looks a lot like Ann Wolfe. And the way that she carries herself in the ring reminds me a lot of Ann Wolfe. She's, I believe, a lot more technical than Ann, because Ann didn't really start getting technical until the second half of her career. Then she actually started boxing, and, you know, she left the brawling, you know, aspect of her game. Even though she was knocking these women out, she reverted to becoming a slick boxer, because she found out when she fought a couple of women she can't knock everybody out. So she had to revert to boxing. But Green, I believe, the Sweet Terminator, is a lot more technical than Ann Wolfe. But man, they have a lot of similarities. This woman was tough. She's a little flat-footed for my taste, but she has good head movement. She has great counter-punching ability, good speed, good power. But not only that, shout out to her opponent, Curry. I can't remember her first name. This lady was a flat-out, downright warrior. The women's fights on this undercard was amazing. I think both the women fights outshined the main event, hands down. No shade, no hate, but hands down, both these women fights were way better to me than the main event. That's just my opinion. I know I'm gonna get some heat for that, but you know, I like what I like. You like what you like. But Shadasia Green is a super middleweight. I believe she's 11-0 right now, with 10 knockouts, maybe 9. I'm not too sure. But she's the mandatory for, I forget what organization, what belt that Savannah Marshall holds, but she's mandatory for her, and I would love to see that fight. Everybody kept saying Clarissa Shields, but they're in a different weight class. But we all know that Shields is willing to go up and come down, more so go up to fight somebody like that. But I think she has a little bit more to prove. Talking about the Sweet Terminator. Maybe one more fight before she gets a crack at Savannah Marshall. But I would love to see her in there against Savannah Marshall. I think that'll be fireworks, man. So kudos to her opponent, Curry, and Shadasia Green, the Sweet Terminator. Great fight. Great fight. Now I want to talk about a young man that I ain't never heard of until last night. I think I may have seen him fight, but I wasn't paying much attention. And that is H2O. This young man right here, I instantly fell in love with his style. Like, immediately. And you know why? You can guess. He goes to the body. He does not neglect the body. Kid is 19 years old. Still a teenager. I believe he started professional fighting at 16 over in Mexico. What I'm most impressed about H2O is being 19 years old and being as calm, cool, and collected as he was in front of 20,000 people. And he was fighting a journeyman, a guy who's been in with Teofimo Lopez, and got a 4th round knockout via a body shot. This kid has it all. And if he keeps his head on straight, he could be the future of boxing. I want to see this young man stay on the straight and narrow path, continue to train and get better, because his The only thing that I can say right now that he needs to work on, I mean, there's a lot of things, but as of right now, this kid is a great fighter for his age and for the short amount of time he's been boxing. His counterpunching ability is crazy. His footwork is crazy. His foundation is a little bit wobbly because his back foot, he's got his heel off the ground with his back foot, and that back foot should be planted on the ground for stability. But hey, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. You learn as you go, and you learn as you grow. But for the most part, this kid's body shots and his placement and his power, angles, jab, he tricks you with those hands. He'll put them zombie hands up and get you to put that high guard up, and then cut you right across your solar plex, man, and get you out of there. H2O is a force to be reckoned with. He is a menace in the lightweight division, and y'all better watch out because this kid is something special, I believe, in my honest opinion. He is the fighter of the night. Fight of the night, hands down, goes to my girls, my homies, my beautiful warriors, Amanda Serrano and Heather Hardy. It hurt my soul to see Heather take that type of punishment. We're going to get to Amanda in a minute. I love them both. I'm a fan of both. I support them both. You hear me? Heather, at the end of the fight, the post-fight ring interview, Amanda pulled her over. And she said, Amanda was asked, what's the highlight of tonight? You know what Amanda said? The highlight tonight is I was able to grab my friend by the hand and get her a 6-figure payday. Us women fighters need to come together. And we need to stop bad talking each other, trashing each other, because Bumgardner was there. And she's one of those ones with a mouth. And I believe that Amanda was trying to send a message to fighters like her and Clarissa Shields. Women have it hard enough as it is. See, Amanda and Heather came in when women wasn't making nothing. And that's one thing I got to thank Jake Paul for, because if it wasn't for Jake Paul, Amanda Serrano, she wouldn't have probably never gotten those big paydays. And because he blessed her, she blessed an old opponent in Heather Hardy. Heather said, y'all, I gave you guys everything tonight. Everything I had, I laid it all out tonight. I'm talking about the 3 months in training and all the way tonight. She didn't quit. She didn't give up. She had spots. She was completely outclassed like the first time. But Heather Hardy is the female Rocky Balboa. If you don't like Heather Hardy, you ain't got a soul. You ain't got a heart. This woman is so positive. She is such a joy to be around. I ain't never been around her, but just watching her and her presence and hearing her talk. When her mouthpiece got knocked out, she was apologizing to everybody. She looked over at Amanda and said, I'm sorry. She's like, she told the ref, it's a new mouthpiece. It's not fitted real good. I'm sorry. It can't. She was apologizing. Man, when the ref went over and checked her when she got cut, she looked at the ref like, what do you know? And then she, come on, let's work. Let's go. I actually cried when her and Amanda were standing side by side, embracing each other, telling these people how they came up and where they are today. And Heather Hardy poured her heart out in this fight. And man, I got freaking emotional. I'm glad I wasn't going live at that point, because y'all would have seen a grown man cry. Amanda Serrano, man, listen, it doesn't matter what she does from here on out. She's going to be hands down one of the greatest female fighters that ever lived. One of the greatest. And for her to be so humble, just like Heather, for her to be so soft-spoken, to be so energetic and positive, not walking around with a stank attitude, bragging about how great she is. Same thing with Heather. They don't have to have people cheerlead they don't have to cheerlead for themselves. People cheerlead for them. Andre Ward said it best. I don't pat myself on the shoulder or on the back. I let other people do that. I let other people tell me if they think I'm great, say that I'm great. I don't say that. Humility. And there's a lot of these female fighters out there that need to learn that. I gravitate and love humble fighters. Amanda Serrano and Heather Hardy, nothing but respect from Real Talk Boxing. Nothing but respect. Love both you girls, and that was hands down, fight of the night. I don't care what nobody say. That's how I view it. Now, let's get to the main event. It was entertaining, sloppy, especially the first 2 rounds. Nate Diaz did exactly what I thought he was going to do. I just didn't expect for him to be so sloppy. But it is what it is. He came in, he performed, he took the young man 10 rounds, and he had spots. In this fight, the only thing I was impressed with in this fight was that Jake has actually made some new good improvements. He boxed very, very well. I had no idea he had a new trainer in his corner, and it showed. Jake Paul fought with patience. He fought with a lot more intelligence. He wasn't trying to knock Nate out with every single punch. He didn't have a knockout intent in every single punch. He coasted, he paced himself, and he learned how to have controlled aggression. And that's why he was able to make that 10 rounds. I was impressed with Jake's performance. I'm not going to lie. You can't sit up here and say that he hasn't improved. He's improved. And I don't know who his new trainer is. Kudos to you, bro. Because Jake looked a lot better. You know, the first round, I didn't know what was going on. Like, he looked like sloppy, amateur. And I know it was nerves. You know, you could say all day, you know, I ain't scared of this dude, or nothing about him scares me or worries me or this and that. But Jake looked like he was just a little bit worried about what was going to come back. He wasn't sure what was going to be coming back at him in that first round. When that first round, I would say probably about right at the end of right at the end of the second round, third round is when he started pouring it on. He started doing what his new trainer has implemented in his arsenal. And I think Jake looked really, really good. I knew he wasn't going to get the knockout. I was surprised he got the knockdown, but I was just happy that Nate's face held up. You know, he didn't cut. Nate says, you know, I'll do this boxing thing again. He said, y'all got to understand I'm a real fighter. I participated in a boxing event tonight. And it makes sense. He ain't throwing hate or shade on boxing. You know, boxing is a combative sport, but real fighting, we talking about street fighting. Anything goes. That's what he means when he says real fighting. You know? But I wasn't, that fight, between the 3 fights that I saw and I loved, that took a backseat to number 3, you know. But H2O, boy, I'm going to be watching you because you got a new fan. And Sweet Terminator, Shadasia Green, I'm watching you too, sister. And Heather Hardy, I love you, sister. I'm glad you got a nice payday. I don't want to see you in that ring again, no. I really don't. You are too much of a beautiful soul to get in there and get beat on like that. Amanda Serrano's performance was amazing. It was pretty much a recap and a replay of the first fight. But these women are stepping up, and they're doing big things. That's my thoughts and opinion on this whole event, but I want to know what you think. So comment down below. It's your boy, Real Talk. No, as always, respect all, fear none. God bless. Until the next time, Real Talk Boxing, I'm up, and I'm out of here. Bye.